Authentic art is dead. It seems like in the last 3 years, art and what we perceive as great art has changed dramatically. And because of this change, there's now an immense amount of pressure on artists and creatives to make their passion their career choice. This leaves artists depressed, lost, and without a path to a good future with a family. Do artists really have to fall into this trap? Is this the only option? I think there's another way, but you may not like my solution. If you've read some of the comments on my last video or some of the messages in my Discord, you can see the dangerous path that creatives are pushed into. I've talked to and read these comments from multiple 14, 15, and 16-year-olds who, instead of simply just being a teenager, having fun making music, they put an insane amount of pressure on themselves to blow up. At the age of 14, at that point, all enjoyment you get from making music is gone. I know because I did the same thing as a graphic designer. Your art's only purpose becomes, how can I monetize this? Which there's nothing wrong with if that's what you want to do. But the problem occurs when normal people who are creating for their own enjoyment are pushed into making a career out of it, even if they would be better off doing something else, which most people would. There's a good way to create, but we all just have to return to it. We have to fight back and allow ourselves to create for the sake of it, rather than for the desire of the TikTok algorithm. Why do we have to force people away from fun creativity? Why does everything have to be forced and monetized? And most importantly, how do we make authentic art? All artists started just by creating for fun. I know that for my journey, my favorite memories creating have been with my friends. Most of the time we go out, skate around the plazas and neighborhoods, then inevitably end up capturing memories on camera. The idea to get the camera was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It gave us things to do. When we got tired of skating, we decided to just get some pictures. And that's the sole reason I got into photography. Sure, I did some work before, but compared to the amount of shooting we did that summer, it was nothing. I think these memories are what makes the best art. I find that my work is always the most inspired and motivated after new experiences. The photos we look back at as some of the best are of experiences, new places, interesting people, historic events. The mistake we often make as artists is thinking that just putting our ideas onto the canvas is enough. Look at some of the best art even today. It has a lot of thought put into it, and it all has a story. We need to draw from our experiences to make authentic art. Well, for most of us, we actually have to go out and gain new experiences. And it just starts by saying yes to things. In 2021, I started going to the new city skate park with my friend. It quickly became the only time we hung out. A few times a week, we'd go skate, meet new people, and have fun. 2 years later, that small habit turned into street skating in the city, traveling to skate, and going to skate in New York City. We stayed in a shitty hotel, 4 people in one bunk bed, but hey, it worked. It was cheap, and it allowed us to skate in New York for a whole day. It was a great experience. We met some interesting people, had some dollar slices, and almost got kicked out of the hotel for packing us all into one room. Then we went again a month later. This time, we stayed 4 days in an Airbnb in Jamaica with a few people that I've only just met. I say all this to say that without these experiences, our art is meaningless. Nothing but pixels on a screen or scribbles on a canvas. It is this personality and our own experience as well as beliefs that shape our art and how it's seen. Our personality is our art, and if we don't share who we are, what we do, what we've learned and experienced, then our art has no meaning to our audience besides that it looks cool. But most artists just don't understand the stakes. Every young artist thinks that they're the exception, and because they idolize the rappers, musicians, and artists in the spotlight, they never think they have to do any extra work to make their art stand out. Everything you are will come through on the canvas. If you aren't a developed person and you stay in your safe little bubble all the time, your art will be boring. Trust me when I say that you need to work hard to develop as a person as well as an artist. It's the difference between a graphic design post on Instagram and a whole YouTube video sharing your experiences and thoughts. That's why I decided to move to Mexico with my childhood friend you saw in the thumbnail. He gave me the opportunity and I took it. Sure, at first I was hesitant and it was not easy to process mentally, but I still said yes anyway. I know that these are the kind of things that can make or break an art career. These are the things that you'll be remembered for. As an artist, you have to be willing to risk it all and do some dumb shit. That's what makes you memorable. I don't know how many times I could say it, but no one ever seems to understand. I'll be having kids at 20 in a beautiful and inexpensive paradise, while many will still be suffering because they have too much pride to make better art. The single reason why I started this channel was because I knew it would blow up. It's going to take time, but the only reason why this is even a possibility is because I'm willing to sacrifice my creativity for the sake of my audience and my future family. I don't care about making art I think is the best. I care about making videos I'm proud of, making art that helps people, that changes lives, and videos that will give me the opportunity to give those who need it a better life. That's why I do it. Stick with me and we'll come out on the other side. Stay the same and you'll be left behind. To make authentic art, you have to do it for the sake of it. Draw from your experiences. Go out and do things that seem questionable or terrifying, because off the back of these experiences, you will have some amazing art to share. If you have to, make money somewhere else. That's what I did. I quit being an artist and worked as a video editor for a year, only to come back to art later. But without that path, my art wouldn't have gotten better, and I wouldn't have been given the knowledge to understand the business side of things. The problem is, we're forced by modern ideology to be a slave to our passions. We need to make a living off our art, because if we don't, then it's a waste of talent. After all, we have to follow our passion, right? What if I told you there's no such thing as your mythical purpose or passion? I think this is a dangerous idea, simply because when we recognize something as our passion, we commit to it, even if its impact on our lives is negative. Personally, I'd much rather sacrifice my creativity and make art that my audience enjoys, rather than suffering for making selfish art. It's either make money somewhere else, package your art for an audience, or suffer making art solely for yourself. The choice is yours. If you want to get more insight on my thought process, how I'm setting up my brand, and what I'm doing to blow up and make a living, join my Patreon. You'll get access to behind the scenes, podcasts, cookups, vlogs, and all the game I have from working as a creator for 8 years, as well as personal feedback from me for your art.
Mind of Dinah.